Good evening, I'm Maciej, Mikos, and you're watching Ukraine Brief. It's been 1,357 days since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Over the past 24 hours, Russian drones struck residential areas in the Donetsk region, killing 2 civilians, and continued shelling the Kherson region and striking energy infrastructure in Odessa. Police say 2 people were killed by Russian attacks in the Donetsk region over the past 24 hours. In Konstantinivka, a Russian FPV drone killed 1 person, and in Kramatorsk, Russian forces launched 8 drone strikes on residential areas, killing another man while damaging homes, a school and other city infrastructure.
There was a drone diving down. 1 explosion. After the second strike, everything collapsed. The glass and doors were damaged. And then a 3rd explosion. A man who was walking to his summer kitchen was killed.
1 explosion, then another. I went out and saw the 3rd one. Everything flew up, even the bed jumped. We came here and saw that the so-called Russian world had arrived.
At least 1 person was wounded late Monday after another massive Russian drone attack targeted Odessa's energy infrastructure. Over the past 24 hours, Russian forces heavily bombed the Ukrainian-controlled part of the Kherson region with artillery, mortars, multiple rockets and drones, damaging residential buildings, vehicles and infrastructure. At least 7 people, including a child, were wounded in the attacks. 3 years ago today, Ukrainian forces liberated the city of Kherson, pushing Russian troops back across the Dnipro River. 3 years ago, Kherson was liberated from Russian occupation. People gathered in the main square, greeting soldiers and hoping the worst had passed. Today, the city and the surrounding Kherson region along the river's right bank face daily artillery shelling, including FPV and other drone attacks, which the UN has described as crimes against humanity, targeting civilians and forcing thousands to flee entire areas. Ukraine's main intelligence directorate has published information on over 1,000 cultural artifacts stolen by Russian forces from the Kherson Regional Art Gallery. Details for each painting, sculpture and icon can be viewed on the War and Sanctions website. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy visited Kherson today, where he delivered a speech and presented awards to civilians, soldiers and emergency workers.
Today marks the 3rd anniversary of Kherson's liberation from Russia. The invaders fled from here. We remember how the courage of our people made it happen, how the Ukrainian flags returned to the city. Kherson is Ukraine. It is simply a fact, a strong fact, that Russia has no place here. Only time separates us from true peace for Ukraine, from true peace for Kherson, from our entire country. Thousands of Russian drone strikes every month against this city. This is a virtually constant threat. I have determined that our Magyar birds, unmanned systems forces and other units will increase our capabilities here, namely defense capabilities.
The situation around Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad remains tense as Ukrainian forces continue holding positions, while Russian troops keep attempting to push forward. Ukrainian forces recently cleared Rodinsk north of Pokrovsk and are counter-attacking within the city and on its western outskirts to slow Russian gains, which have reportedly slowed in the north and west. Meanwhile, as the weather changed, a video appeared on social media showing Russian forces moving through heavy fog. According to a report from the 7th Corps of Ukraine's air assault forces on November 11th, over 300 Russian troops are advancing under heavy fog from the southern outskirts. Russian forces continue pushing in eastern and southern Pokrovsk, aiming to encircle Ukrainian troops while maintaining fire control over key supply lines. In a recent interview on the program Ukraine This Week, George Barris from the Institute for the Study of War analyzed the battle for Pokrovsk, saying the city is likely to fall.
Pokrovsk is going to fall. The city's been compromised, and it's really a question of time. And it's a question of time of how many days or potentially how many weeks. It's also a question of, will the Russians be able to successfully seize not only Pokrovsk, but the larger pocket that's there along with Myrnohrad.
Another video released today by Ukrainian correspondent Yulia Kirienko on her Telegram channel shows burned Russian vehicles on the southern outskirts of Pokrovsk, reported as the aftermath of a Russian column that had moved through the area earlier. Ukraine's military says it struck oil refinery in Russia's Orsk. Ukraine's military reported on Tuesday that it had struck a Russian oil refinery in the city of Orsk, located in Russia's Orenburg region. According to the military statement, explosions and a fire were observed at the site, and preliminary information indicates that one of the main oil processing units was hit. Ukraine's report states that the refinery produces over 30 types of petroleum products, including gasoline, diesel, aviation fuel and oils, with a processing capacity of 6.6 million tons of oil a year. And that's all the news from Ukraine for now. Thank you for watching and stay with us for more here on TVP World and tvpworld.com.